My calculator. It would be the factors, plus or minus, of this, the constant at the back. So it would be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 15. So if I didn't have my calculator, I would actually have to take each of those, 1, -1, 3, -3, 5, till I get a remainder of 0, right? Because then I know it's an actual x-intercept. So I could plug it in and see. But what you can do is type it into your calculator and get me an x-intercept. Does anyone have one? Sorry?
X equals -3.
X equals -3? Okay. So, you could pick any of the other ones as well. If you want to do what I do, I usually pick the lowest so that we're all doing the same thing, but you can pick any of the x-intercepts. If you didn't pick x equals -3, don't go like fast erasing this, because you might have picked a different one, and then when you factor the bottom two, you'll get the other two, right? Like it just does it in a different order, so don't go mass erasing. So we have to make sure we can rock a count. 3, 2, 1, 0, we can. So then we just put in our coefficients with their signs. So it's 1, 9, 23, 15. And we drop our 1. And then after that, we multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, till we're done. So, -3 times 1 is -3. Then we add them. 9 plus -3 is 6. Then we multiply. 3 times -6 is -18. Then we add. 23 plus -18 is 5. Then we multiply. -3 times 5 is -15. Then we add is 0. So we know we're good because that's the remainder, and we need it to be 0 because then that means y is 0. And when y is 0, what have we found? The x-intercept, correct? We also know that the factor of x equals -3 is a factor. So this is the x-intercept. What is the factor? X plus 3. And this is asking us to factor, then solve. So we're going to state our factors. So our first one is x plus 3. So currently we have, and then this is, we have x plus 3. And then we have this trinomial factor, correct? If this is x cubed, then this is going to be 1x squared plus 6x plus 5. If you haven't noticed, you always drop your first number, correct? So if your first number or your leading coefficient, which is what the first number is, if your leading coefficient is 1, you're going to get to do product sum factoring. If your leading coefficient is anything but 1, you're going to have to do decomposition. So you learn to really appreciate when there's a 1 in front of that leading coefficient. Okay, so right now I have x plus 3, and then x squared plus 6x plus 5. Am I done? I have a linear factor and a quadratic factor. Can I factor the quadratic factor? Yes. If I cannot factor the quadratic factor, I stop, and I'm done. I have a linear and a quadratic, if it asks me to factor. So I'm going to get x plus 3, and then what multiplies can be 5, and adds can be 6, x plus 5, x plus 1. Now, how do I know if I'm right? Do I just send it and hope for the best? What could I do? Put it into your calculator. Put the original into your calculator. Put the new one into your calculator, making that line thicker, and it should draw itself on top of it. Yeah? We're going to do the solving after. For right now, this is factors. If it asks you to factor it, these are the factors. We'll do solving after, once we can have factoring down really well. Okay. The next one we talked about, I told you we had to make sure we could rock a count, correct? So we have 1x squared, we have x cubed, and then x, and then 0. So we go 3, 1, 0. Is that rocket counting? No, we're missing the 2, so we had to put a placeholder, correct? Okay, our possible roots or possible x-intercepts are the factors of 10, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 10. All right, when we go into our calculator, what one do you get? 5. So we're going to our table of values, and our table of values is when x is a number and y is 0. So the table of values gives me the x-intercept, correct? So then what would the factor be? X minus 5. You just work it back to 0. Okay, so we put in our leading coefficients. 1, 0, negative 27, 10. Drop the 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Add it. 0 plus 5 is 5. Multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. Add it. Negative 27 plus 25 is negative 2. Multiply is negative 10, and then you should be happy because your remainder is 0. If it's not, you did not grab the x-intercept, or you made a mistake in the math. So honestly, with this question, I feel like a lot of people aren't going to get a remainder of 0 because they're not going to rocket count and they'll forget the 0 placeholder, right? If you forget the 0 placeholder, it won't come out as a remainder of 0. Yeah? All right. And it needs to be knocked down. So if this is a cubed, this is 1x squared plus 5x minus 2. So now I have x minus 5 and x squared plus 5x minus 2. Can I factor this? Is there anything that multiplies to be negative 2 and adds to be 5? No. So this is factors. There's a linear and a quadratic factor. Can't get any better than that because that cannot factor. Solving, we can, and we'll come back and solve these tomorrow, but solving, you would actually put that into the quadratic formula and you can keep going. But factoring, we stop. Can't factor it, you're done. Okay, that one had a leading coefficient of 1. This one has a leading coefficient of 2, so I'm going to end up having to do decomposition. So the first thing we do is put our possible x-intercepts. Always from the constant. Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 6. Yeah? Putting on my calculator, I'd try 1, then I would try negative 1, then I would try 3, or 2, negative 2, 3, negative 3, till I got a remainder of 0. Because I can use my calculator, what's one that works? Does anyone have one? 1? Negative 2? Do I have to use negative 2, or could I use a different one? You can use a different one. It's totally fine, but then whatever you get for your trinomial will factor, and one of them will be x plus 2. So you can do it in a different order. All right, so before we go to put our coefficients, we have to rocket count. 3, 2, 1, and then this is technically x to the 0, correct? 3, 2, 1, 0, blast off. Cool. So we can write our coefficients. 2, negative 1, negative 13, negative 6. Drop the 2. And then we do negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Add it. Negative 1 plus negative 4 is negative 5. Multiply. Negative 2 and negative 5 is positive 10. Add it. Negative 13 plus 10 is negative 3. Multiply. Negative 2 and negative 3 is 6. Add it is 0 and we're happy because this box number is my remainder. What's my factor for x equals negative 2? x plus 2, correct? So now I have x plus 2 and 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Which I'm going to do the work for that one off to the side because it's decomposition. So I have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3, this binomial or quadratic factor, trinomial factor. 2 times negative 3, so what times what gets me negative 6? And what plus what gets me negative 5? Negative 6 and 1. Some people say negative 2, negative 3, but that would get you positive 6. So it's negative 6 and 1. So we get 2x squared minus 6x plus 1x minus 3. Group your first two, group your back two. You get 2x, x minus 3. Take out a plus 1, x minus 3. And you get x minus 3 and 2x plus 1. If you forget how to get those two factors, remember to come in, right? So we get x plus 2, that stays the same, that's my linear factor. Oh my goodness, what is happening? And then we have x minus 3, 2x minus 2x plus 1. And that's factors. You guys try D. What is our, what number could we use? X equals what? Negative 2. Which is x plus 2. Make sure I can rock account 3, 2, 1, 0. So I can put in my coefficients 2, 7, 1, negative 10. Drop the 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Add it is 3. Multiply is negative 6. Add it is negative 5. Multiply is 10. Add it is 0, so that's a good thing. This is my remainder. So my factors are going to be x plus 2, and then this is a cube, so this drops down to an x squared because I took an x out because it's division, right? So now I get 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. So I'm going to do it over here. 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. What times what equals negative 10? What plus what equals 3? So it's going to be 5 and negative 2. So I'm going to go 2x squared minus 2x plus 5x minus 5. You could have done the 5 first, doesn't really matter. Take out a 2x, and we're left with x minus 1. Take out a 5, and we're left with x minus 1. X minus 1, 2x plus 5. So we get x plus 2. X minus 1, 2x plus 5, and once again we could check it by typing it into our calculator. Okay, what happens if it's bigger? And we should know we're right if we type the original in and we type this into our y2, we should get the same graph, correct? Okay. What happens if we have an x4? When we do division, it's going to knock it down to an x cubed, correct? Then we're going to have to do synthetic division again to knock it down to an x squared, then we can factor. So every time you need to drop it down by 1x means you're going to have to do synthetic division because that's how you get the x out. So I have 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So I can rock account. I'm going to get 1, negative 3, negative 7, 15, and 18. The possible x-intercepts are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 6, plus or minus 9, plus or minus 18. We get our x-intercept by typing it into our calculator, right? So when you type that into your calculator, what x works? Did anyone find one? -2? Or is that x minus 2 is the factor? Okay. And so the factor would be x plus 2. So we drop down the 1. -2 times 1 is -2. Add it. -3 plus -2 is -5. Multiply -2 and -10 is 10. -2, sorry, and -5 is 10. Add it. -7 and 10 is 3. Multiply -2 and 3 is -6. Add it is 9. -2 and 9 is -18. Yay! Okay, so I took 1x out. So now I have 1x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x plus 9. Now, if I had just given you that as the question, what would you do? If I had just given the cubic one as the function, how would you do it? We just did it the whole page before it. You'd put this function into your calculator and look for a x-intercept, right? So try that out. Did anyone get an x-intercept? -1. So we get x plus 1. If there's more than one, could we all pick a different one? Sure. You're just going to get different factors when you actually factor it. Here is it. All right. So drop a 1. -1 and 1 is -1. Add it is -6. -1 times -6 is 6. Add it is 9. -1 times 9 is -9. Add it is 0. Now this is one less than that, so it's going to be 1x squared minus 6x plus 9. So what multiplies to give me 9 and adds to give me -6? X minus 3 and x minus 3. So then a lot of people just do this, these two factors, box it and say those are the factors. The original was an x4 though. So you might need all the factors along the way, right? So what are the actual factors? X plus 2 is one of them. X plus 1 is another one. And then x minus 3 times x minus 3, we could just write as x minus 3 squared. And these are the factors. How do we know we're right? We can type that into our calculator, type the original into our calculator, and we should get the same graph. Yes? One's just factored form, one standard form. Okay. You do F. Go. All right. So, for this one, you have to do synthetic division twice to get your factors. And then we're going to go over solving tomorrow. If it was degree 5, like I said, you just need to do another synthetic division. Right? It's just more time consuming. It's not harder.